All right.
Let's do this thing.
Welcome back to Game 0. Just kidding, it's Game 1. Of our best 3 series between Franscar and Scaphism. And it's going to be the semis of our SNS number 2. Spot on the bottom left side. Our pink Terran, Scaphism.
And in the top right side, our green Zerg player, Franscar. Possibly Franscar. I'm going to go with Franscar. You can correct me in chat if you know what it is.
It's definitely Franscar.
Excellent. All right, so PvZ on Match Point 2.0. Very, very fun maps. Kind of a shorter rush distance than you might expect based on how big it looks, but some crazy stuff. No ramp, no ramp at the entrance to your base, so you can't have that high ground advantage with the Marines against the Zerglings or whatever you want to see in this particular matchup. So both players just kind of hanging out, nothing too crazy going on. Do you ever see proxy hatch in Starbow? Is that a thing?
I haven't seen it often. No, I don't think I've ever seen it at all. But the thing is, a lot of our Starbow players, they don't really like to play unorthodox builds. So I don't think we'll ever see that happen, but not anytime soon. But I think the mechanic still exists where if you build a hatchery, you can still put like a spine collar right up, and if you build a hatchery, cancel it, you can still put a spine collar on top of that creep. I think that's still a mechanic.
That would be awesome. Let's do that.
Yep.
Yeah, but no, all right. Barracks coming up, Refinery as well for the Terran player. Second hatch coming up as well. Hatch first build for our Zerg player. Pretty standard stuff. Probably going to see that 2-base Muta that we saw in the first game I think we cast today. Yeah. SCV heading on out. Where's that SCV going? Oh, okay. Just going for the scout, taking a different path than I would have expected, perhaps.
Yeah, avoiding the Overlord. Oh, the drone's going to get a scout in. Oh, this is crucial because he actually sees the gas. He's going to see the gas. That's actually huge.
Yeah, sees those 3 workers on gas. That SCV, there we go, actually throwing down a proxy factory. I knew that SCV was up to no good.
Oh.
The top there it is. Proxy factory on its way. Not going to get scouted for a while here by Franscar. But again, Franscar with a huge scout, seeing the 3 gas coming up as well. Sees when the gas is pulled off, more especially. Knows exactly what is coming from Scaphism.
Yeah, now Franscar's a smart player. And I guess I have to take back what I said about Starbow players not playing unorthodox builds. Because it looks like it's going to happen now. But yeah, the longer he keeps his drone in here, though, he's got to suspect that something's up. And I think he's going to know about I think he suspects a proxy.
Yeah, he'd expect a second barracks or something to use all the gas that came out, and he's not seeing it, so he has to know there's a proxy somewhere. I'd expect to maybe see a couple of things come out to get that scouting action, get across the map to places where proxies are possible. Eventually, the drone does get cleaned up by these Marines. No more scouting, but, oh, lifting up the factory into the main of the Zerg player. And what are we going to build from the factory? I'm going to have to say Vulture?
It has to be Vulture. Vulture's definitely the best choice by far. And the question is, though, will he follow up with the starport? You know, maybe in the main base. Now that the drone is dead, he could... I mean, Franscar's still in the dark. He doesn't know what's going on. This Vulture could do a lot of damage. Oh, and he's also overcharging out some Vultures. Oh, very nice. He's going to make 2 at a time also. He's gonna get 2 first, and he's going to lift off, and then he's going to attack. Because 2 Vultures
very
is
smart.
the match.
But it does get scattered out by
nice.
these Lings, and not quite safe from the factory. That Vulture takes a lot of damage, but they're going to pop right on out. The Queen is ready to go. Hopefully there's enough energy to actually enrage here, and yes, make use of that ability, chasing the Vultures away. All the drones escape to the natural. The Vultures, again, can shoot while moving. Both Queens are here, and the Vultures say, oh, all right, if you're going to be here, I'm going to head on over to the natural, try to kill drones. 2-shotting the drones, doing a great job of it. There's a Spine Crawler here to help as well. Going to try to snipe down that one Vulture that is so low on health, and yes, does manage to get it. The second Vulture dies as well to that Spine Crawler. No more Vultures left in the base. And is there actually one up in the main? There is. There's a single Vulture up in the main, but he doesn't have any friends with him. Trying to get some harassment off. No more being produced from the factory. And what is this Vulture up to? Just kind of taking pot shots, I guess. Not really being microed right now.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate. He could pick off maybe 1 or 2 drones. But definitely at this point in the game, I'm feeling like Franscar has the advantage. Oh, Franscar is now opting for Hydra Den. Good choice here. Could apply some pressure. At the same time, Scaphism is going to follow up with 2 barracks. And pretty strange build, but you know, he's trying to make it work. And he's doing the best he can. But
yeah, I mean, I like it. In the end there, he killed 3 drones. That was nice. That was good for him to do. Got some good harassment, kept the Zerg player in the base. Kind of gave himself some time to get an expansion as well. So maybe it didn't kill as many drones as he expected to, but those queens were good, and in the end, it wasn't enough for those vultures to do as much damage as maybe he expected.
Yeah. And TVZ, though, the early game, I mean, because that vulture attack failed, I mean, TVZ is really all about the economy in the early game. I mean, you're always going to see really economical builds. So, unfortunately, I think that vulture attack didn't really work out too well in his favor.
No, it did not. Hydra is pushing across the field on their own. What are we doing? I don't see anything morphing into lurkers at all. There's a bunker at the front to shoo these Hydras away. There's a small group of them. Is this enough to actually take down that bunker at the front door?
I don't think. No, I definitely don't think it will be. And with a easy, I mean, it's easy for the bunker to just be repaired and just take out all the Hydras. Now, one thing that he could have done is if he had range upgrade, you know, I mean, it would be a little bit easier to bust down the bunker.
Right, for sure, but does not have that upgrade. Instead, back at home, upgrading to the lair, getting a creep tumor out as well. Medics, Marines, Stim, bunkers coming up for the Terran player. Nothing too out of the ordinary as well. Yeah, the Hydras, I don't know what he expected to find, but went way across the map, checked out the bunker, and then headed on back home.
Yeah, now he's morphing into a Hydrolist Den into a Lurker Den. So he's going to completely skip the mutas. I think that's a good idea because he got the Hydra Den so quickly. Question is he going to take a base right now? And it looks like yes, he is. He's got a drone going down to the bottom right side. And that's good. Yep, it's going to morph into a hatchery.
Immediately morphing into that hatchery in this safe base like you always talk about with the narrow ramp you can hold with 2 lurkers. Very smart positioning from him to be sure. Now scouting with the factory up towards the main of the Zerg player. Getting that scout off, sees there's no Spire, and actually might live long enough to see the Lurker Den morphing. It might be close though, we'll see.
Yeah, I think he will see it though. And it's a pretty big read for Scaphism if he sees it.
The doctor is in.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting across, and yeah, it's going to survive definitely long enough to see that lurker, and in response, it's pretty much going to be medics +1 attacks for those Marines, another supply depot. Morphing 5 lurkers in at once, though, is Franscar. That's a huge amount of lurkers. Factory in a nice neutral position to be a scouting factory. You don't see that a whole lot, but here comes a giant push.
Yep.
From these Marines, from these medics. The Lings coming up along the right side, trying to find... Oh, they do find the SCV. Managed to kill it, and this Overlord going to go down as well. Oh, they don't actually kill the SCV. Instead, they head on back down.
Yeah, now Scaphism, now I like this push because what he did is with that factory, he was able to scout to see that Lurker Den, and he knows that mutas aren't incoming, so he's got some map control here. Oh, he's going to target at some Lurkers, but the Lurkers
burrowing a little bit too late.
Almost.
2 of them die. The Lings come around from the backside. A bunch of Marines are dead and forcing the retreat. Lings chasing the remaining units. How many are left? Looks like a couple Marines are left. Yep, 2 total, but that's enough to make Scaphism head on back home.
Yeah, that was a nice attack for Franscar here. It could have been even better for Franscar if the Lurkers just were a little bit closer, and if the Zerglings were just there a little bit earlier to keep the Marines from retreating. Yeah, that would have been catastrophic for Scaphism. But yeah, Scaphism retreats. Unit slots tap, favoring the Terran player, but only slightly, as expected. So I would say it's a pretty close game so far. Still very close.
Agreed. It's really nice Franscar is able to get this 3rd gas up here at the 3rd base, help that economy going, help him tech up to future units that he needs. Getting the Spire now, actually, as well. Where is that Spire? In the main. It looks like, yes, there it is. So going for the Lurkers and the Spire production. Might be actually, yeah, might intelligently be going for those... oh my gosh, I am spacing right now. It's the Guardians and the Devourers. There we go. Go for some Devourers against these Marines as well.
So, I think at this point, I think Franscar is dead. Yeah, he's getting the Viper Nest. He wants to tech up to Deflyers as soon as possible. Of course, that requires some hive tech. And yeah, the Lurkers are moving up to the top of this 3rd base. Gonna zone out these Marines from moving up that direction. And also keeping 2 Lurkers at the bottom of that ramp. Very nice. Yeah, this Lurker position is gonna buy him a lot of time.
Yeah, some amazing positioning for sure. Marines and Marine Medic Convention at the bottom there, just kind of milling around, not quite sure what to do. They don't want to go up the ramp against those Lurkers. They can't get the vision that they need. And again, the Lurkers at the little bit below there, also zoning things out more and more, moving across the map. Creep spread looking pretty good as well. Spire just about to finish. Upgrading to a Hive is Franscar and getting those upgrades for those the ground units.
And by the way, nice creep spread. I gotta say that's pretty good. Considering that creep tumors cost 40 energy, they're not as spammable as they were in StarCraft 2. But creep tumors, though, have a really big effect in the game of Starbow because Starbow maps, first of all, are really small. And also, keep in mind that positioning of units is really, really key in Starbow. So having that vision is a really big advantage. I think even more so than in StarCraft 2. Of course, StarCraft 2 has the speed boot bonus mechanic, but that's not in Starbow. Still, creep spread is still really useful. Really useful.
Yeah, even just for the vision, just fantastic. All right, so here comes a dropship coming along the top side. Going to try, as we get out of there with the lurkers, then siege tanks taking care of them as well. Dropship going to drop right behind that main mineral line for our player. Franscar does not look good. Going to drop here, actually a little bit to the north with the Marines and the single medic. And here comes the response. 3 queens and
nice pickup. Very nice.
Oh man, amazingly well held. Taking down the dropship, taking down all those units. Lost maybe a couple lings. Fantastic play by Franscar.
Yep.
I think did scout that with the Overlord coming across the top of the map.
Franscar might lose his lurkers.
Burrow. No, instead decides just to run away. Instead, going to try to get a pincer attack here.
This could be a great attack.
Get a surround on these units. The lurkers come right on in. The lings as well.
Glorious.
Lings from
amazing engagement.
Yeah, from both sides. Taking down the tank, taking down so many Marines coming in as well. Scaphism giving out the lull. The entire army is wiped off the face of the map. It is 102 to 66 supply in favor of Franscar. Scaphism saying that sucked, and here come the lurkers trying to finish the job.
Holy crap, that was such a great engagement. I just can't stress how amazing that engagement was. To have synergy, oh my god, amazing. And yeah, he's losing all his units though. Go up this ramp here.
He had just lost like 8 or 9 lurkers walking into that Marine tank ball. That was, yikes, that was huge. 16 lurkers have died in the game so far.
Yeah, he got really overconfident there.
Oh no, wasn't paying attention enough.
But it's okay though. I mean, I'd still say Franscar is vastly ahead because, like I said, that engagement was amazing. I mean, that surround, I can't stress how beautiful that engagement was.
Absolutely, that was some incredible positioning, just the timing as well, getting both sets of units where they need to be. But tanks are here, science vessels are here. The defense against the lurker is going to be pretty good. I have to imagine breaking that wall is going to be difficult, require something beyond just these lurkers, but I think the contain here might be good enough for now.
Yep, and this is definitely going to buy him, Franscar, more than enough time to get his consume up for his defilers. And once that is in play, it's going to look pretty bad and pretty dicey for a Terran player here. He's only got 2 science vessels. And yes, he does have 1 more on the way, so yes, he could irradiate the defilers if it needs to come down to that. But yeah, that's a lot of lurkers and a lot of zerglings moving across the map. And yeah, Franscar is taking a 4th gas, which is going to be really, really, really great for our Zerg player. And Scaphism still only on 2 gas, and he's not going to get a 3rd gas anytime soon, so he can't make any mech transitions. He's going to be stuck in bio, but lurkers are pretty good against science vessels. I mean, sorry, the defilers are good against science vessels, and a nice engagement.
Yeah, here comes the huge push, burrowing in the lurkers as far as they can get into the map, trying to take down these tanks. The spines killing Marines left and right, trying to engage, but no, the Marines decide to back up. The lurkers back up as well. There are 4 of them left. They burrow just outside of the range of those tanks, getting irradiated by the science vessels. And again, Scaphism decides and manages to hold off that attack.
Yeah, actually, unfortunately, I think that engagement could have... it didn't go as well as I expected it to go. But, well, we have some more reinforcements moving across the map now. And soon enough, we have defilers out. Yeah, defilers with Dark Swarm and Plague. Good spells.
Absolutely amazing spells, making the lurkers so much more viable than they otherwise would be. There it is. There's the defiler. And yeah, both players just kind of setting up, kind of trying to find where they exactly want to have this engagement. Terran player trying to set up on something of the high ground, I guess, and trying to take a 3rd base, but instead pumping right on in. The science vessels do manage to radiate one of the lurkers as it runs away. Needs to burrow that immediately. Ling gets in and tries to get a scout off, or maybe just a missed rally there. I don't know. But in the end, it did actually end up dead thanks to those tanks. Franscar pushing on in. Here we go, pushing in across the top.
Dark Swarm's being cast on top of the lurkers and Zerglings. Zerglings doing quite a bit of damage. Scorches do take out some time vessels. Oh, Dark Swarm gonna protect that lurker. Keep in mind that lurkers under Dark Swarm don't take any damage even from siege tanks. The more you know.
From any ranged units, it keeps them alive. That Dark Cloud a little bit misplaced though. Is it Dark Cloud or Dark Swarm?
Dark Swarm.
Feel like it's Dark Swarm.
Yeah,
yep.
Dark Swarm.
Excellent. Another one being placed up, bringing the lurkers underneath that swarm. sniping down everything that gets anywhere near it, trying to get this bunker. The other 3 lurkers are a bit out of position, though. Maybe move up a little bit. The Dark Swarm needs to be recast again and refreshed here in just a second. And there it is. The tanks. Oh, the tanks in the back. The lurkers decide to move in anyway. The scan is up. The Lings coming in to reinforce. Lurkers getting burned down, and that's it. It forces the Lings to back up to a different position. And
the Defiler, no! Defiler, please don't.
Defiler, run back. Defiler, escape.
And that's a little bit unfortunate, but he might actually get away. Wow, Defilers are fast.
They are fast. What's that run speed on those guys?
Oh, actually, they're not.
I don't know. 225 run speed. Oh no, it does actually end up exploding. The fire bats are pretty darn good. Getting sniped down by these Lings, though. Enough Lings can't take them down without too much effort. And taking down this 3rd base, not quite safe enough for our Terran player. Scaphism, again, trying to push up desperately, trying to take that 3rd.
Swarm.
Oh,
very nice. Perfect time.
In on these lurkers, burning everything down to the ground. Again, pushing forward with that Dark Swarm, sieging forward to take different positions. That 3rd base is not going to happen anytime soon.
You know, this is what I hate about Matchpoint as a Terran player. Just getting that 3rd base, yeah, you get a mirror only, but you still don't have access to mech transitions because you don't have that 3rd gas. And that's making the Dark Swarm just so much harder to deal with. But I do like that he's making a lot of fire bats, though. I mean, that will be his saving grace, if anything. And yeah, he's got to cast the Irradiate on top of the Defilers now. He's got to do it pronto. And he does have enough. Nice. Oh, big plague. Big plague.
Huge plague, bringing all those guys down to 1 hit point, making them so squishy. But Franscar not making his move, and instead kind of just setting up the contain, making sure that 3rd base does not get planted. I guess draining all the energy off the medics is pretty good, though. Oh
yeah, definitely. And also, it's gonna keep the Terran player from getting any any advance, any ground for it. And a big attack from Franscar here. Oh man, lots of lurkers, but the fire bats melting everything. Oh, whoa. Yeah, Scaphism's gonna hold. I think it's gonna hold.
Ultra comes in to try to deal with it, but no. Scaphism calls the GG. Franscar is victorious. Yeah, Scaphism did a lot better there than I thought he was going to do.
Yeah, I think right when Scaphism saw those reinforcements, he's like, yeah.